In the pursuit of sporting success, City Football Group know that even the smallest margins can make a big difference. That's why they've been working with world leaders in travel innovation, Etihad Airways. Now they share with you the solutions that not only enhance the performance of elite athletes, but for frequent business travellers too. Join us as we delve into the travel challenges that some of the clubs and their players face before sharing with you the methods that can aid your travel routine and help you adjust to your destination. We all want to feel fit after a great flight. Let the experts guide the way.
Long distance travel is a challenge for all of our clubs in City Football Group. Our collective experiences are kind of brought together. We analyse what works and what doesn't work and then share what we learn between each other.
Etihad are such an amazing partner for City Football Group. There are so many things we do together, but specific to our players, what's amazing and what's great is that we can have this collaboration with insight from our sports scientists and our coaches and the Etihad travel and sleep experts to help us at the thing that we do that's most important, which is to win football matches.
The main challenges that we face with cabin crew or pilots are mainly fatigue, sleep disturbances. This happens because of the frequent travel and also traveling east to west. So we face a lot of people having jet lag problems and problems related to fatigue or sleep disturbances.
The parallels between players being ready to perform in game and business people being ready to perform within meetings are the same. You need to be ready, you need to participate and do your best.
If you're being sent overseas, there is pressure on you to perform. And if you're mindful of how you're going to be when you get somewhere, then I think that really helps with, okay, I travel well, I'm going to arrive well, and I'm going to perform well.
As a crew member, my biggest issues with long distance travel would be adjusting to the time, lack of sleep, and probably hydration.
Not only is the many long hours of flying, but it's also being confined to a very small space for 16 hours. It's not easy. And then comes the stress of flying, the weather, everything that affects you. But because of the way we are trained, we can recover quickly. So yes, we do get a lot of help from it.
You always have to take every part of the game into consideration, because even if that can help 4, 3 or 5% of players being good physically, we have to take it.
In MLS, travel demands are so different. In May, we had 3 games in 8 days, which involved going to Dallas, which is an hour time zone change, and then going to Salt Lake, another hour time zone change, and then going to Orlando, which is a 2-hour time zone change back. Really hot in Dallas. I play Sunday. On Wednesday, you're in a snowstorm in Salt Lake. At Salt Lake, you're at significant altitude. And then you're back in Orlando and it's boiling hot again.
For those trips, everybody's kind of got their own routine. So they kind of give you a general spectrum to stay within, and then everybody can kind of specialize that to themselves.
Pre-travel, you want to make sure that you're as rested as possible, so getting a good night's sleep before you fly, and then also making sure that you're well hydrated before you travel as well.
I try the best I can to drink as much water during the day of travel, so I always carry either like a liter bottle with me throughout the entire day, either refill it or try as much as I can to get to different stores in the airport and get another bottle once I'm finished with one.
Water intake is very important. So when you're traveling, ensure that you're having at least 8 ounces of water every hour. And also avoid intake of caffeine as much as possible, moderate intake of alcohol or avoidable if possible, and drink a lot of fluids before traveling. It's very important that we start preparing way in advance, researching about where you're going, doing your currencies, what is the airport, or how big it is. And we encourage people to arrive way in advance to the airport, at least 3 hours or 2 hours before check-in, so be well prepared.
I think there's a lot of opportunity just in airports to be able to take stairs, to walk around a little bit, get the blood pumping a bit. So I like to make sure I punctuate some kind of activity, however gentle.
The main travel demands for Manchester City to prepare for are pre-season tours, for example, flying to destinations in Asia, America. Australia specifically is one of our tour destinations recently. Some of the challenges we face are not only the travel and the jet lag of crossing multiple time zones, but also the climate when you arrive. So these players have got to perform at a high level and the conditions might be hot and humid. Sometimes there might be altitude to contend with.
I think it was one of the most travel I have been affected by the time difference, jet lags. You need at least 2, 3, 4 days to be ready, or in your case, to play football at the high level.
So what makes Manchester's approach quite unique in terms of the challenges they face is mainly in the international space. So more international players travelling all over the world at regular times in the season, and then expecting them to come back and perform. So really it's making an individualised programme for them, which is suited around the recommendations.
We've got a number of players, for example, that play for Brazil, like Gabriel Jesus.
Eu falo isso porque, a verdade, o staff ajuda muito a gente, deixa a gente recuperado, fisicamente bem para o próximo jogo. E eu, particularmente, falando dos gols, eu fico muito contente de poder ajudar a seleção, ajudar o City quando volto.
For us, the main challenges when we're flying potentially are multiple airports where we may have to travel to destinations. I think the senior players are very experienced when they're travelling. Most players have travelled multiple time zones. They're prepared, they go away to allow themselves to be able to play to the best of their ability when they arrive at their destination.
During travel, there's mobility strategy, so making sure that you get regular mobility, so standing up and walking around and performing maybe some stretches when you're in flight.
Our sport scientists give us a bit of a programme just to make sure that you keep your body moving, so just to kind of make sure that you're not just sitting still and you're kind of getting the blood still circulating around your body. So the girls were doing stretches, and I think on the way back a couple of them were even doing yoga exercises, but I think they said that they felt refreshed once they arrived here and was ready for the game.
If you want to stay awake during the flight, concentrate on proteins and meals that give you energy, so that are your fibers. And if you want to fall asleep, make sure that you have light meals but more concentrated on carbohydrates, so it will just help you kind of ease you to sleep.
In terms of in-flight routines, I think it depends on the timing of the flight. Yeah, if I took steps to make sure that I respected the time zones, stayed awake when I should, slept when I should, then when you get to where you need to be, your performance is not impacted.
There's a number of things you can do to help you. You know, something as small as adjusting your watch when you get on the fly to the local time. And when you need darkness and you need sleep, the eye masks, the earplugs, these sort of things are really helpful.
When you start using your iPad every night or any technology equipment at night, the second day you sleep 90 minutes later. So we advise people to limit the use of these aneroids before they're attempting to sleep. If you're taking an afternoon flight or an early morning flight, we don't recommend sleeping more than 20 to 30 minutes because it's enough for you to kind of give you the power and recover, and will not affect your circadian rhythm or your night sleep. And make sure that you are eating and sleeping at the time zone that you're going to travel to.
We are allowed to have controlled rest. One pilot can just nap just for a few minutes while the other one is actually flying the aircraft.
We'll offer them compression garments. These may be full-length leggings or they could be knee-length socks. It will actually just aid the blood return to the heart and as it cycles around the body. Even though they're young athletes, they do get muscle damage from training and things like that, so we're just ensuring there's no issue around that.
Flight hygiene is really, really important. So we make sure we're preparing the players and we give them antibacterial hand gel, we give them nasal sprays, just to make sure that they're combating anything that they may pick up through general travel.
we've got a couple of trips where we have a 2 or 3 hour flight, but then we get off that and it may be an hour by coach as well as the plane trip, or 2 hours by coach, depending on where you are and where we're going. So it's quite different probably to most other leagues around the world in terms of the distance that we've got to travel to play.
Games can be scheduled 7 o'clock Perth time, which can be 10 o'clock Melbourne time, so they're playing quite late relative to their body clock. So there is a bit of a challenge in helping them adjust to play the game at an appropriate time for their body systems.
So Perth is a huge challenge for them in terms of travel and adaptation. But this season they've gone there and won, and we've heard back from the club themselves is that they find the travel and adaptation and a new strategy has been really impactful for them.
You have to travel in 4 hours like Perth, and always there is different weather, more humidity. The medical staff do a great job about this. They prepare everything, so massive 3 points because always had to play in Perth.
You know, we have a lot of girls that play in America, and their longest travel obviously is from the States back to Melbourne. They have to travel away to their destination, and then obviously come back. But the biggest thing is for us is the way we look after them, the way they look after themselves, obviously on the flight, and try to reduce injuries or anything like that whilst they're away to come back and obviously play for us.
And when you get to the new environment, it's again maintaining hydration, sound nutrition, different sleep strategies to get you realigned so your body clock's in sync with the new time zone.
You know, airport, fly, hotel, it's very important to drink water and to do everything. So when they start the game, everyone is there 100%.
So if you land in the evening, we recommend a light meal, a warm shower, no activities such as vigorous exercises or doing loud things or loud activities to increase your adrenaline. We just want to kind of make it a mellow and wind down. But if you're reaching in the morning, take a shower, eat something, expose yourself to the sun, walk, or just do a half an hour quick exercise. It'll help you recover or recover quicker from any jet lag or fatigue or sleep disturbances that you'll have.
I jog as soon as I land at a destination. That's the best way to explore a city and get into the community. So I try and go for a run anytime I travel.
Have I improved my routines as a flyer? I would certainly say yes. Over the months and years when you correctly analyse your performance and the role that travel played in that, I think it's inevitable that you can build up a set of little kind of performance tweaks you can make.